Hey guys, it's Jess. Welcome back to my channel. So today's apartment build, because I've been doing a lot of these lately, is this kind of old school, arty, messy apartment. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to call it because it's a little bit of everything. It's like old style, it's a bit messy, a little bit like old school, but also like old as in old, like exposed pipes, and the apartment's probably been around for a while. It's got lots of plants, and it's also belongs to an art lover. So it's like an old school, old style, artsy plant lover's messy apartment. Uh, anyway, where I actually got my inspiration, I was watching this like old messy apartment build from Peach Plays, and coincidentally, and this is actually the exact same apartment building that Peach Plays used as well, because I really liked the balcony, so that's why I chose this apartment. But yeah, I think it's still quite different, but I was definitely inspired by that speed build, which I will link below as well. Yeah, so as I said, this apartment's a little bit of everything, so I was going for something super, I wanted it to look like it had been here for a while, so I went for that really old brick wall, and then these kind of older, industrial-styled kitchen. So I guess in a way, industrial is not necessarily old. I wanted it to be this is a super old apartment, and maybe at some point one of the owners had decided to kind of go with an industrial theme, but it's still a little bit older than normal. So yeah, I really like the way the kitchen turned out. I think it's rustic. It's just cute. I love it. I love it. I was also trying to use some of those new debug items that we got from, it was a patch a while ago now, but this is a bit of an older speed build. So I was trying to use a few of those items as well. And I mainly just used the plants, and they'll kind of pop up around in the speed build every now and then. I think I come back to the kitchen in a little bit. As I said, this is an older speed build. I'm just now editing it, or doing the voiceover for it, because I think I wanted to add a few extra items, but I had a little bit of a block, which happens sometimes, so I find if you just come back to it later, it ends up just being a lot easier and you get a better outcome. So at the moment we're doing the living lounge area, and I used sort of unmatching dark coloured furniture to go with the old sort of theme of it. So I kind of thought that the person that lived here is clearly an artist and loves plants, but I mean, who doesn't love plants? But also maybe not so much they don't have a lot of money, but they spend all of their money on their art supplies and stuff. So they kind of have a lot of mismatched furniture because I guess it's just not their priority. So they've got a lot of knickknacks, a lot of paintings, a lot of things on the wall. But instead of going out and spending all this money on furniture, they wanted to spend all their money on their art supplies. So they have, a secondhand lounge and secondhand TV cabinet. But I also imagine that the person that lives here, being a little bit arty, probably likes the mismatched look, because I think that is a look, kind of eclectic, old, industrial. I could call the apartment that as well. I keep thinking of names as we go along. But yeah, so you will notice that I put the little painting area in this apartment, because I think that, I don't know, it's just really cool. And I put it near that window because I imagine that, there would be, I don't know, someone painting there, looking out the window for inspiration and all that kind of stuff. A lot of the clutter that I use as well, I put a lot of books around because, again, I imagine that there'd be art books. My cousin is a very talented artist, and he has books everywhere, and a lot of them are kind of all sorts, picture related books, I suppose you could say, and the picture books, he uses them for inspiration. So he has architectural books, flowers, landscapes, pretty much anything he's interested in painting, he'll have a book for, and he flips through them for inspiration. So that's what I was going for there. And then I also put this little study area here, and again, I filled it with all sorts of books and stuff. There's no computer here because I thought that this would be a planning space for all the paintings and everything. Yeah, if anyone is actually an artist, let me know. Have I kind of totally missed the whole point of an artist's apartment? As I said, I'm kind of going off my cousin who is an artist, and yeah, that's where I got my sort of arty inspiration from. And the plants, I got the plant inspiration from my own house and myself, because I just love plants, and my plants are like everywhere. Can't help myself. Yeah, but I really like the way this apartment turned out. I love that it's really mismatching, and I think it looks a bit thrifted, and, you know, they'd be going to the spice market and getting, you know, all sorts of things from there as well. And clearly this person is not particularly tidy. I nearly created a sim to actually live in this house, but in the end I didn't. And one of the main reasons, it's a very stupid reason, is it kind of bothers me that there is no messy or untidy trait. It's just the trait is called slob. And I feel like there is a very big difference between being like a slob and dirty to being like messy and untidy. Like, being untidy kind of just means you have stuff everywhere and you're a bit cluttered and all that kind of stuff, but you can still be clean. Like, you don't necessarily have dishes all through the sink and your house is not like dirty, but it's messy. So I don't know, it's a really stupid reason, but I'd love to have like a messy sim, but I never want to pick the trait that is slob, because it doesn't suit what I want. So that was just like a really irrelevant, long-winded conversation about nothing there. But anyway, whatever. We are just kind of doing the finishing touches in this sort of like entryway area, and now going into the bedroom. And this bedroom is really big, but I actually really love the size of it. I think that it worked out really well. And again, I put lots of like books and like a little reading nook, and just like lots of things that I thought would be sort of artsy in here. And I kind of put the purple wallpaper in, but then I sort of changed my mind and I felt like it looked a little bit too new and modern, so I do go back to like a brown coloured wallpaper, and I like to put the exposed brick. I feel like exposed brick is one of those things that's actually like pretty trendy, but also makes a place look older and rustic, so that's why I kind of had exposed brick everywhere. But in my house, we actually have an exposed brick wall, but it's been painted. So I feel like exposed brick on its own equals like rustic, older, and, you know, not so modern. But the moment you paint it, it's like, oh my god, it's Pinterest and modern. So yeah, there's no painted brick, just exposed brick. I feel like I've said exposed brick that many times already that you could make a drinking game out of it. Yeah, so this bedroom I did have a little bit of trouble with just because it was so big. So I do change a lot of things around, and I end up removing that big bookshelf, and I actually put in a little like makeup vanity area, which you will see in a minute. And I also add in some like pet stuff. If I don't know what to put in a space, I always just add pet stuff, because I feel like everybody has pet. So it's just like a really good thing to add in when you're not quite sure. And this is a little makeup vanity area, and I love how it turned out. It's something I definitely want to use in future builds. So I just put together two of those kind of like hallway tables, and then I could put whatever chair I wanted to, because it wasn't going to like just snap to the space. And considering that none of these items are actually functional, like it doesn't matter that they can't sit down and use the makeup table, because none of the items are functional. So yeah, I don't know, I love the way that it turned out, and I feel like it kind of, I don't know, using the colours I used, it still sort of has that like rustic theme to it. I probably could have cluttered it up just a little bit more, but it is kind of hard because I find that there's not a whole lot of like makeup style clutter in The Sims. I've said this a million times that all I want is like a clutter pack. I think that would just be amazing. But I do put in lots of plants. There's like 3 plants in this one room. And you might think that no one's house has this many plants, but I can guarantee you, yes, they do. So in my like little recording room, well, it's not really a recording room, it's like our study. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plants, 7 plants, actually 7 plants. I have one big like floor plant, and then I have like 2 plants in like medium-sized pots, and then like 4 of them, 4 plants just in like little pots. So 3 plants in one room is definitely a possibility. And then in our living room, there's like 3 plants. Like, there are plants everywhere, so I don't even feel bad anymore about overplanting a room. Yeah, so this is the spare bedroom, and I wanted this to look like your typical unused spare bedroom. So I put a whole heap of just random stuff in here, and I wanted this to be kind of like the junk room, I suppose you could say. So when people come over, you'll clear a few things off the bed and you can sleep in this room. But there's also all the art things that didn't fit in any of the other rooms. There's some washing in here that you just like want to forget about. All sorts of like paintings and canvases that maybe you haven't sold yet, or that you just, I don't know, like you're keeping for a later date. And then, yeah, obviously, like, just like the bed in the corner, and I put like some washing on the bed, just as I said, the forgotten washing. So yeah, I wish that we had some more like boxes. I feel like that's a really random decor item that would really suit me. Like if you could get some sort of like faux moving boxes or something, that would be really good. But there weren't any, so I had to use those like other boxes, and I feel like I found enough clutter for that space. So yeah, and then this is like the last part, which is the balcony area. So this area was really, really large, and it was actually kind of hard to furnish, to be honest, because the space was so big. But I did a few little things here I've never done before. So those big pots that I kind of have sitting off to the side there, I actually like shrink them down and I put other plants in them so they look like they're actual plants. And you'll see that in a little bit, and I feel like it looked really, really cool. And then I also went around and used as many of these debug plants as I could. I went a little bit crazy. This was the first build that I did when I had discovered that there's all these like debug plants. So yeah, that's why I went a little plant crazy. But there I am making those like pots into like actual, I guess they're more vases. So I made those vases into like actual pot plants, and I think it looks really, really cool. And I had to do like another painting area outside because I feel like that's just super duper fitting, and what artist wouldn't want to paint indoors and outdoors? So I did that, and I put like a little sun baking area here as well, and really just like anything I could think of to fill up such a large area. I did want to put a clothesline on this balcony and kind of make it look like a hanging clothesline, but in the end there actually, surprise surprise, wasn't any room. So to start off with, I had too much space, and then in the end I just didn't have enough. But yeah, we're nearly kind of finished the space and into screenshots. Oh my god, that's a total lie. I totally forgot about the laundry room. This laundry room honestly turned out amazing in my opinion. It's so rustic and I love it so much. Yeah, so I just put like heaps of stuff in here. I feel like it's a typical apartment laundry room where you just like have this tiny little laundry area and then like your toilet and your shower and everything just like shoved in all together. So I did my best to clutter it up and use heaps of stuff from that laundry day pack. Yeah, but we're nearly into screenshots, so I will let you go and just listen to some music for the last little bit of the speed build. But thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all in the next one. Bye everybody!